there. Are you winning the game of life? Or perhaps you've been a victim to a long string of villains. My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is victim, villain, or victor. What does being a victor of life? To the victor go the spoils. What does winning the game of life mean to you? To me, it's not about the baubles. It's not about whether I can park a BMW on top of my corpse at the end of the game. I don't believe those things you carry past the grave. I believe you carry content of character, the relationship you've held with self and with others beyond the grave. And so to me, victory comes from having the most laughs with myself and others. You know what I mean? The rest of the time I was telling some kind of whiny story. Boring, bored, I'm bored, you know? And we have many different ways we can frame any given circumstance and any given experience. There's a multifaceted, prismatic way we can look at any story we are telling about our lives. Heather can tell an endless string of victim against the villain stories, you know? And I am the chooser of my life. I'm the director of the ship. I'm the person that's been guiding Heather Feather around and making decisions and saying yes and no's. And I also could have made different decisions. I also could have said no more often. I also could have had better boundaries. I could have had greater strategy. I am responsible for the way my life is playing out. I'm a grown adult. I'm a grown adult person. I'm guiding the ship, you know? And so I believe we have trials, tribulations, traumas, hardships, challenges, because it's one of the ways that we evolve the self. How could a being ever become unconditional love if they haven't been betrayed by a bunch of people they've had to forgive and learn how to come out of judgment and step back into the glory of love with the gift of forgiveness? How could a being become unconditional love if they haven't found the circumstance that really triggers their desire to judge? In this circumstance, I don't have to be unconditional love because that was a bad guy and that is a villain. Often I find in the modern age, we are labeling many beings as villains. And I find actually since the dawn of time, it is the truth tellers that have been called villains. So first thing I want to say regarding the topic of villain, are you villainizing anyone in your life? And are they a bad guy or did they just say an uncomfortable truth? Are you yourself sometimes called a villain? Do people try to convince you that you're a bad guy? And are you a bad guy? Are you somebody that's really trying to cause more pain, suffering, hardship, trauma, drama on planet Earth? Or are you someone that is stirring the truth and stirring questions and awakening the inquisitive mind? To you, I'd like to say thank you if that's what you're doing. Thanks. We could use more of that. Like, I'm sorry people are villainizing you. Many two-leggeds have preferred to stay in the complacency of the discomfort of the falsehoods they chew on, rather than have somebody poke them with the truth stick such that they might awaken. And it can be an uncomfortable task, and it definitely does not make you a bad guy. But that being said, Heather Feather doesn't really believe in bad guys. If we are eternal, and scientifically, we are only made of energy, everything is solely made of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Therefore, the very substance that we are made of is eternal, scientifically speaking. And all spiritual things that I've studied, all spiritual contexts, save there's some distinction in Buddhism, which is a deeply spiritual study, point to soul and divinity, point to a divine essence or something that lives well beyond the physical manifest world of form. So if you're eternal, then are there really bad guys? If there is an omniscient, omnipotent, all-loving God that is loving, then that means that they would not be judging to begin with and then need to apply forgiveness. Then no, there's no bad guys. They're people playing roles to help everybody in the journey of evolution. How are you doing with it? And they're just roles. It's like a movie. It's like a play. We get off the stage, we take off the flesh costumes, and we're done playing those roles. And to get to the other side, you really did play a bad guy. I thought you were a villain from the age of 12 until I died. I really hated your guts, you know? So that's my perspective. I think there's a beautiful, soft, warm, loving, kind, true union, communion with the light of love beyond this hologram, if you will. That being said, though, there are many, many beings that have circumstances and situations in which they're traumatized by physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, sexual, some type of assault or trauma or trial or tribulation. And Heather Feather has had an unlimited number of darkened hours that I could share with you here. And I am not a victim to any of them. I am a creator, and I am creating worlds within worlds within worlds. And let me make sure that my mind and my mouth and my heart and my offering and my frequency is a match to the world that I want to chew on. And the problem is that once someone steps into the shoes of victim, they can create a self-fulfilling prophecy of magnetizing more takers, more users, more abusers, more bullies, more those people that want to play the role of bad guy, because they start to step into a belief system that this is what the world has to offer. There's 8.2 billion people on the planet, on this planet. There are noble men that are loving and compassionate and difference makers in our world, and they're doing a bang up job. And congratulations. Thank you for who you're being in the world. I hope to be more like you, you know? And there are people of all kinds, whatever kind of people you're judging, that are difference makers, that are light workers, that are love workers, that are making a difference. And there are all kinds of people across the globe that have a trauma, drama, victimized story that are now living the life of their dreams because something in their awareness, it seems, has chosen a different storyline to walk in. They've chosen to get off that track of thought that goes, life is just like this. And I know those shoes. I've walked in those shoes. I'm not superior to any given circumstance. It's easy to mishear me in these videos and think, well, isn't she just? And yes, I can get on my high horse and blah, blah, blah. But as a general rule, I've spent most of my life feeling like a worm under humanity's feet. I do not feel superior or special or above any given thing. I like to share my graces and my glories with humanity, and I like to share my trials and my tribulations. And one of my greatest is getting out of the construct of concept that just because I have not interrupted or stopped an interaction in which someone was behaving in an untoward way towards me, that it does not make me powerless to have things be different. It does not make me stuck. It does not mean I cannot trust myself. It does not mean I cannot trust others. What often happens after a trial and tribulation of this nature, and especially if you have complex PTSD like me and you've had tons of very darkened experiences, you begin to think, I can't trust myself because I drag myself into shadowy corners of existence. I can't trust others because they're banging around in the shadowy corners of existence. And I gotta say, there are many lovely, trustworthy beings on this planet. Amazing people that are making a difference. And you too can be one of them. You can be a victor of Earth. If victory to you is being true to what you truly be. To me, victory is living the most authentic life I can live. And authentically, the truth of me, the most honest thing I've ever done with every breath I've ever had in this place is share love, be love, offer love, receive love, be willing to receive love, take in love, to be open vessel of love, to shake the web with love. And so today, I want to offer you the opportunity to become the victor in your life. And just take a moment to consider, how often am I laughing and enjoying and finding this life of mine to be delicious? How often am I complaining and telling a victim story about how powerless I am against XYZ? Why are you not the hero? There's no hero coming. No knight in shining armor is gonna, dun, dun, ah, I understand you're having problems. I'm here to solve them. You are the hero. You are the hero. So let's take a moment to consider if there's any arena of your life, any entities in the journey of your pathway forward that do not belong in your victory story. Sometimes we have to get really uncomfortable, have difficult conversations, get honest with ourselves about what's going on in order to taste the sweet, sweet fruits of a victorious life. My name is Heather Feather. You can subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube and like and comment there. I always love to hear your thoughts. Amun.